Okay, I think that's pretty much everyone there. Right, okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're well. I think I've met some of you before from previous webinars, but if you don't know my name's Kat. I'm one of the cruise connoisseurs here, and I'm one of the river specialists. Today we are welcoming back Angela from Uniworld, but along with that we have Uniworld's Chief Inspiration Officer, Arjun, who is based on board the magnificent Ganges Voyager 2, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is their India product, which is absolutely incredible. This presentation you're going to see is really, really inspirational as well. For any of you who have never seen us on a webinar, we are a slightly newer company to the market. We've been around for around about 7 months, and our founder is James Cole, who you may have heard of before. He has founded some very successful cruise brands in the past, and every single person that works here at Panache Cruises have all worked with him before. So we have a really, really great family and a group of friends as well. Personally, I've worked with James for nearly 5 years as a river cruise expert, and luckily enough I have been able to get on board some Uniworld ships as well, so I'm really excited for you guys to see what they have to offer. A bit about ourselves: we call ourselves cruise connoisseurs because we don't leave any detail untouched. We are here to make every part of your dream holiday become a reality. Any question you ask, anything that your heart desires, we will try and make it a reality for you. You're never going to have to wait in a call queue. You'll be assigned a connoisseur, and you'll have direct contact with them from the point of your inquiry until you come back home. We are the one person that looks after you. If one of us is not here, another member of our excellent team will be on hand to help out. For us here at Panache Cruises, nothing is ever too much trouble, and that is a motto that we live by. In this current climate, we do have book with confidence messages for all our customers, looking at low deposits. Each cruise line has a cruise with confidence message, and that's something that I'll ask Angela to talk about a little bit later on. Finally, as we do go through this presentation, it is very information rich, so if you do have a question, and we do encourage it, there is a chat function. If you scroll your mouse just to the bottom of your screen, it will pop up and you can ask any questions. I'll try and get either Arjun or Angela to answer in between the different topics that they start talking about, but anything you do, just let me know and I will try and reply as well. But that's enough from me. I'm going to hand over to Angela and Arjun and enjoy the presentation.
Namaste. Hi there, my name's Arjun and I'm from India and the Ganges Voyager 2. It's really great to meet you today. I've come to share with you a story, an incredible journey, not just one of the most special river cruises in the world, a transformative journey of mind, body and soul, the ultimate Indian experience. 4 centuries. Wanderers have journeyed to Indian riverbanks, seeking knowledge and wisdom, and returned home to tell of their vast riches. But also the challenges of the great distances, access to culture, and places to stay. And so their challenges are now our bounty, as we access these hidden peoples and landscapes for great cultural immersion through some of the most luxurious hotels and river cruise in the world. From Delhi, the ancient and modern cities that make the capital of India, to Agra, the Taj Mahal, at sunrise and sunset, an incredible architectural monument to love. We proceed to the capital of the state of Rajasthan, the land of kings, the World Heritage Pink City of Jaipur. Famous for its fantastic palaces, vibrant markets, and incredible astronomical observatories. Best of all the rivers, born of all the sacred waters, the holy River Ganga. Sail away as we adventure by river, aboard the handcrafted, all-sweet Ganges Voyager 2, awarded one of the 6 best river journeys in the world. Sailing by river unlocks privileged access to areas where other travellers don't visit, to great mythologies and histories forgotten in time, monuments, temples and palaces from the ages when the river was the main highway for commodities trade. Join us on this incredible voyage, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is abundant and where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward into ever-widening thought and action, and into that heaven of freedom awake.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Angela Sloan, and I'm delighted to be welcomed back here today to talk to you all alongside my good friend and colleague, Arjun. We are proud partners of Panache Cruises. We really enjoy working with the team, so thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you to all of you for joining this afternoon. And apologies once again for the slight technical glitch at the start of the presentation. If any of you have travelled with us before, we would absolutely love to know. There is a chat box, and you can make that known to us as we're going through the presentation. That would be wonderful. But without further ado, I'd just like to give a very, very warm welcome to Arjun. Arjun had the most amazing job title in the world as Chief Inspiration Officer, which I love. His knowledge is second to none. This is the most wonderful itinerary. I don't know whether any of you had the opportunity to see, but our good friend Jane MacDonald actually has sailed on the beautiful Ganges Voyager 2 and has experienced this itinerary firsthand and featured on Channel 5 on New Year's Eve. You can still download it on Catch Up. It's well worth a watch if you get a minute. But in the meantime, I shall hand over to Arjun. Thank you so much, Arjun.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Angela, and Kat as well. It's wonderful to be here with Panache Cruises and lovely to meet you all today. So really, Angela, let's start the PowerPoint. Yeah. So the story of India begins over 5,000 years ago, and it's a story of over 5,000 years of civilization, of cultural development, of spices and textiles, kings and queens and princesses, and different religions and philosophies. But they've all developed and grown up along the banks of the rivers. And so the real question is how to visit these places which grew up over those thousands of years, where all the stories developed, which were the inspiration for so many things which had a role on the global stage. And so today, India is a large country of more than 911 million eligible voters. It's a vast country with a vast, rich history, but also has beautiful locales and different places. And so we developed this ultimate Indian experience to incorporate the elements of Rajasthan and Delhi, these great cities in the arid part of India in the west, with the sailings along the lower Ganges from Kolkata in eastern part of India, which has a lot of history there as well. And so in a 12 nights, 13-day program, we're covering old and New Delhi, the Taj Mahal, Jaipur, the Pink City, and then we fly to Kolkata in the eastern part of India on the Bay of Bengal, and we have a 7 nights cruise aboard the all-sweet Ganges Voyager. And really this is the ultimate experience, we say, because combining those two aspects and staying in the Oberoi hotels on the land and the Ganges Voyager 2 really gives a 360-degree interface in the places you stay and the people you meet along the way. And so landing up into Delhi, we stay at the Oberoi Hotel. Now, the Oberois are an Indian mark amongst the best in the world. Families for hundreds of years, for last 100 years, have gone and had tea, for example, on Sunday afternoon. So really, these are centers for the movers and shakers of society, the decision makers, and the esteemed families of different places. And so staying in the Oberoi, right in the heart of Delhi, with beautiful rooms. Every room is like a Rolls Royce, and they have an air system inside, so the air is cleaner than Switzerland. And the level of detail you get in Oberoi, even in the types of cuisine that's served. For example, the pizza which is fired in the oven is fired with a specific type of tree wood, mango tree wood from a different part of India, just so that the flavor of the pizza gets imbibed with those different aspects. And so with this wonderful base, we're able to explore the great Mughal monuments, the Red Fort and the Jama Masjid in Delhi, or Rajghat, the memorial to Mahatma Gandhi, one of India's founding freedom fighters and founders as well. And really, so to see these places, we also And we also take cycle rickshaws through the old part of the bazaar, the old part of the city, to see the different shops which have developed over hundreds of years, with people from different parts of Asia, cooking different cuisines and flavors. As well as you have Humayun's tomb there, which was the precursor to the Taj Mahal. In the afternoon, we have the Qutub Minar, a great monument to victory, and the Jagannath Hindu temple, which is an optional excursion in the afternoon. And so these are the iconic sites of Delhi, Delhi being a city of more than a dozen cities over thousands of years, being the center of political control for the region. And so having seen old and new Delhi, the Mughal and the British cities, we go to Agra, the base for the Taj Mahal, and we stay at the Oberoi Hotel. It's a wonderful, beautiful property. Every room looks over the Taj Mahal from afar. So you can wake up in the morning and see the Taj Mahal. You have your breakfast and tea from the lounge looking over the Taj Mahal. And again, being an Oberoi property, there's a lot of great detail in all the different aspects of the experience. And so we could first go in the sunset when the sun is going down. So we take electric buggies from the hotel up to the main gates of the Taj and walk inside, see the beautiful monument, the mausoleum to Mumtaz Mahal with the light as the sunset is going down. And so this is really the highlight, because many people visit India, but they only go once to the Taj Mahal, but we go twice, going once in the evening at sunset, and the next day we go at sunrise. And that's truly a magical experience as well, to see the sunrise of the light lifting on the Taj. That's really something which really makes your everything really exciting. And so having seen the Taj in those different aspects up close, there are different reliefs and motifs on there. And there's an optional chance to see the workshops where they still continue those marble inlay reliefs today. So from Agra, we go to Jaipur. This is the capital of Rajasthan, which is the state of different kingdoms which came into one state. And we say the Oberoi Rajvilas. It's a beautiful, large property. It's a bagh, it's a garden, and all the rooms are spread out through the different compound. And you can see how the rooms look there with all different lovely, beautiful views over the gardens, with a 300-year-old temple right in the center there. And so Jaipur has an incredibly rich and famous history. There's the Hawa Mahal, the Palace of the Winds, where the ladies of the court used to watch the world go by. It has now a World Heritage City. It's a planned city compared to St. Petersburg, because it was planned by the rulers to create a great quality of life for a modern city over 200 years ago. And so there are many different things in the Palace Museum. You can see in the picture on the right there, this silver urn. It's one of the two largest single pieces of silver in the world. And so the Maharaja took with him Ganges water to London with him around 1900 to carry out his different ablution. And so there are two of these items there. And so this is for Ganges water. So Ganges, water from the Ganges, which you would take. And here we are in the desert. So it really links to the Ganges in different ways. There are wonderful astronomical observatories. And there's also the chance to visit a local bazaar, where Jaipur is also a world center for different artisans for handcrafting leather goods, gemstones and jewels, and the processing of different block printed fabrics as well. So it's a really unique interface there on the different parts of Indian culture. And so from the western part of the country, now we fly to the east, to Kolkata, Calcutta, as it was known. This was the British imperial capital. The reason why being on the port city where all the trade and commerce could be directed from. And so we set sail on the river. You can see how the Ganges looks. It's clean, it's pristine, there's wonderful bird life, and the very natural feeling and rhythm as we're sailing along the different places. And there are Ganges river dolphins which are there. They're highly endangered. They're very rare to see, but you can see a dorsal fin or different parts of the fins as we're going along. This is the all-suite Ganges voyage. It's a handcrafted ship. Every room has a view over the river. There's 28 suites across 5 different categories. They're all large suites from 24 square meters up to 37 square meters. All the rooms with video on demand, minibar, hand-painted textiles, local artwork inside. And so we have the signature suites, which are 24 square meters on the main deck, which are twin or double beds. See the beautiful blue indigo styling, which is there, and with the seated area with the view over the river. In all the suites as well, we have we are a single-use plastic-free ship, so all the guests, whoever comes aboard, gets an aluminium bottle which is refillable to prevent that. And all of the amenities in the bathroom, they are Ayurvedic amenities, so they're natural amenities for the bathroom, but also they're again without any single-use plastic. And that really is important to us, that whatever we do is sensible and makes sense from a practical point of view. From the signature suites now we look at the Colonial Suites, which are on the upper deck. Again, these are twin or double beds which overlook the red rooms, so you might call them, with different artwork and stencils inside. And we have 5 superior suites, which have 4 poster beds. So these are there are 2 heritage suites, which are 28 square meters, which face forward. So you have these wonderful panoramic windows from the front of the cabin as you're sailing forward there. And then in midships, we have 2 Viceroy Suites, which again, these are large with a 4 poster bed. These ones also have a large seating area, a sofa, sort of like a large sofa area as well. So this is a very spacious, and again, with the large panoramic windows looking over the river, to really see the daily life as we're sailing along. And so all the bathrooms have a WC and a shower, which are there as well. And as you go up through different categories, each of the cabins have different features and different artwork inside. And the top suite on board, this is the Maharaja Suite, 37 square meters. There's only one, the largest suite on board. Large sitting area, large 4-poster bed, and really having a bathroom like the other rooms as well. But really, this one is also special because it has a bathtub as well. So this means that to have a wonderful bathtub inside the bathroom as well as a shower, that makes it the top suite on board, and there's only one of them there. And so this is the Sundeck, the open area where we have different sunbeds, and this is where we have the different activities, port talks and discussions. Every day on the Sundeck, the flower arrangements change following different Pan-Asian styles, Japanese ikebana style, different European styles, for example, and it's a wonderful place to just sit and watch the world go by. Every day we have their sunrise yoga, and there's a yoga guru on board. So a yoga guru is someone who spent their life dedicated to the development and practice of yoga as a science and art of healing. And so they're always available on board to discuss general well-being and health concepts. As well as on the Sundeck, we have 2 spa rooms with Ayurvedic and European treatments for wonderful different massage, and a fitness center, a gym for different exercises. And people do love that as well, because it really gives a wonderful space to exercise and work out the wonderful meals we have on board. In the Governor's Lounge, we have different port talks discussions. This is where we have our tea and coffee tasting. So all the tea and coffee served on board is organic, is natural. So we have different cultural activities here as well, different cocktail tasting and cocktail sessions to learn about the Indian flavors which are infused in the cocktails we serve there. There are different opportunities to dress up in the traditional Indian clothing, to wear a turban, for example, or a sari, how it's worn, what the meanings are, the traditional styles, or mehndi, for example, henna, the traditional artwork which is done on the body for celebration and just for fun, really, as well. So there are wonderful opportunities for cultural immersion every day, as well as lectures and discussions on the Sundeck. And in the evening, at least twice, we have dance performances, and these follow different regional or local styles, and they're really wonderful just to first observe, and then of course ultimately participate in, and enjoy the Indian dance styles which are there, and to dance with the different people on board. That's really one of the highlights in the evenings. And so every day we're sailing, the landscape is changing. It's really, you don't see any of the ships, there's no other people there. It's really pristine nature, rural landscapes we sail through. And so as we're sailing, there are different crops you see depending on time of year. There could be onions growing, there could be sugarcane growing, there could be different vast orchards of mango or other crops. There are different small brick kilns or jute factories, and people just living their normal lives. People sail on the river for local transport, they fish in it, they bathe in it, they worship the river as the world's as a sacred river, the holy Ganges. And so it's a real privilege every day as we're sailing along to see these different aspects. In the dual aspect dining room, all the meals are served here. And we have a wonderful variety of fresh, natural cuisine, which is prepared every day, using traditional styles with our tandoor oven, which is available there on board. And so every meal really is an opportunity to explore history through the taste buds and the local and regional flavors which are there. As we're sailing along, all the different things are happening on board. There's an excursion every day to these different monuments, temples, palaces, and villages which grew up over this golden age when the river was this main highway. It was the internet of its era. And so we get to see these places by different transportation. So we take most of the places, we have our small country boat and we disembark to the shore. And we use local transport. So either just walking nearby, taking cycle rickshaws, horse carts, or electric rickshaws. Everything is right by the river there. And as you get off board the ship, there's no one bothering you. There's no commerciality. There's no one trying to sell you anything or hawking. It's very untouched by mass tourism, and we love to keep it that way as well. And so here we see these beautiful terracotta temples at Kalna. So these are following the different Hindu mythologies there, which are baked from clay from the Ganges River. There's also these 108 Shiva temples in 2 concentric circles following the Indian feng shui, which is called Artha Vastu. So there are wonderful architectural and different cultural elements depending on your interest in each of the places we go. As we walk back to the local marketplace, you see the fresh natural produce, and the local shopkeepers are there. And they're more interested, who are you? Why have you come there? And sort of posing for camera, for example, rather than actually trying to sell you anything. And that's really a wonderful thing, to take cycle rituals to the temples, walk back through the market, and really no one's bothering you. That's why this is such a special place to visit. On the next day, we visit Matiare. This is a brass making village. They take scrap metal regionally, melt it down into brass ingots, and hammer out these traditional plates, which they've been doing for hundreds of years. And so it's really pretty to go early in the morning, because they're farmers. So we go early in the morning, perhaps it's a little bit foggy as we're walking through. You can hear the hundreds of hammers away, tong, 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 tonging away as we get nearer to the village, and we see who's awake, who's alert, who's interested to show us what they're up to. And so each family has traditional styles of design that they carve into these beautiful brass plates there. And that's really one of the traditional crafts of the villages as we're going along. This is really the highlight of the cruise. So this is Mashidabad. This was the erstwhile capital of Bengal. This is what's known as the Hazardwari, the Thousand-Door Palace. So it was designed by a Scotsman for the local rulers who couldn't imagine rooms without fireplaces. So there are fake fireplaces in each of the rooms in order to give it the feeling of being a truly grand palace, and fake doors painted on to give it the illusion that there's so many doors there, because who can imagine in tropical Bengal, which is pretty slightly humid and quite warm most of the year, that you would need a fireplace. So, so the Scotsman did a great job and put these really small quirky features in to give them the feeling of a grand European palace when actually they didn't really need it. So it's a wonderful palace museum to visit there. And as we sail now back towards Kolkata, this is a place called Mayapur. You may have heard about the Hare Krishnas, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So this is the birthplace of their founder, called Mayapur, on the banks of the river. And they're building one of the largest temples in the world there, the temple of the Vedic planetarium. So it's almost finished now. It will have the largest dome in the world of any structure. And I think it'll be the second largest religious structure after St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. So really it's taking its place amongst the world's, iconic and large places of worship. And so devotees come from all over India and all over the world to visit this place. So we walk through the local Pilgrims Bazaar and to see the different aspects of the Hare Krishna culture which is there. And that's really, again, a unique experience right on the banks of the river. And as you can see here, this once it's complete, it's been under construction for so many years now. But once it is complete, it will be you can see there, compared to Taj Mahal and St. Paul's Cathedral, it'll be part of the iconic buildings of the world. So you get the chance to see this really before it's completed as well. That's quite a privilege as well. Finally, just before we head back to Kolkata, this is Chantanago. This is a French colonial enclave. There's the old governor's mansion. There's a wonderful yellow boulevard on the waterfront with a Sacré-Cœur Cathedral. And you can see Marianne in front there with the tricolor. And this is a wonderful museum to the history of the colonial history of the region. The history, of course, this part of India, this area we're sailing, being on the Bay of Bengal, being at the delta of the Ganges, the soil is so fertile and rich in abundant of natural produce. So there are a lot of artisans and textiles, a lot of wealth which accrued there. And that's why a lot of traders came from Armenia, the Danes, the Dutch, the Portuguese, French, and the British. So they all had their outposts there. And this was the French colony, the French outpost, which was there. Even up until the 20th century, it was there. And this is again a wonderfully interesting, different enclave to visit. And finally, as we return back to Kolkata, there's what's said to be Asia's largest wholesale flower market, a kilometre-long street of different wholesale flower traders buying and selling different flowers, as well as Kumatuli, which is a potter's colony. And there they still make traditional pottery and these traditional statues from clay and straw, which are there for devotional worship. Bengalis, this part of India is called Bengal, and so Bengalis consider themselves amongst the avant-garde of Indian culture. The first non-European who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913, Rabindranath Tagore, so he was Bengali there. And so they're part of that cultural tradition which developed. And finally, really, we have these wonderful British colonial monuments. We have the Victoria to Queen Victoria, the Victoria Memorial, a wonderful building made from the same marble as the Taj Mahal to memorialize Queen Victoria, Empress of India, as well as St. John's Church, which is essentially almost an exact replica of St. Martin's in the Fields in Trafalgar Square in London, with the different epitaphs and different stories of the people who built it and who are buried there inside as well. So really, for us, the ship, the experience we give, authentic Indian hospitality with wonderful, culturally immersive experiences, and every day giving a delight, every day giving signature experiences to really uncover the true nature of Indian culture, to meet the local peoples, and really interface with the true areas of great history along the river, which have been forgotten in time. People don't visit these places. and really to unlock access to these areas by going by ship in our wonderful place. That's really something which is unique, special, and we really love that. Of course, given the present situation, the global conditions, it's really important to us that both our staff and our guests are well taken care of. So we have different protocols for health and safety, which are partly common sense and partly science as well, for safe embarkation. So we have temperature testing, for example, cleaning of all luggage. There's also touchless service now we give on board. So everything is on request to crew service. We have around 38 crew on board. So there's a very high crew to passenger ratio. And so the crew are really attentive to meet the needs and also to discuss. Our crew are really well trained in firefighting and health and safety, but also by the British Council in conversational English. They love to converse and to share their knowledge and their passion. And of course, being an Indian ship with full Indian crew, we love to show off the best parts of our culture and to give all those secret bits of information which we know as well. As a local firm as well, it's really important to us that as part of local peoples, we directly enhance the environment that we benefit from, that we're part of. And so we're really engaged in, for example, we have technologies on board the ship to reduce energy wastage. For example, we use single-use plastics, we use local, organic and natural fresh produce on board, as well as off board. We are engaged with organizations to help children from deprived backgrounds get a better education, for example, as well. So it's really important to us that that travel should make a difference to local peoples in their lives. And as part of local peoples in our culture, it's really, we also are very much focused on that. And of course, for those who are interested in exploring other parts of India, there's a wonderful optional extension to a city called Varanasi, which is called the City of Light. And this is said to be the oldest living city in the world and the center of Hinduism. And so that's an optional extension, which is also available. So it's really, it's our privilege to invite you to come and see India. I mean, really incredible, as it's never been seen before. It took us many years to kind of create this wonderful journey to combine the best parts in different ways, the most famous and the least famous, but these wonderful hidden gems, and to go by river ship to see India in a totally different way. It's really a once in a lifetime experience. And not only does the accommodation is luxurious, but the personal experience, the people you'll meet, the things you'll learn, the wonderful friendships along the way. This is very much part of the Indian culture and the history, and we would love to share that with you as well. So very much looking forward to seeing you on board in the footsteps of Jeremy Paxman, Giles Bramrith, and of course, Jay MacDonald, who's been there as well. So thank you so much for attending today. Thank you so much for coming. And so I'll pass back now to Angela, who will tell you a little bit more about some of the special offers which are available.
Oh, Arjun, thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation, such a special way to see such a wonderful destination. And you really did help to bring it to life. So I thank you for that very much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the presentation as much as I did. I never fail to enjoy it when Arjun presents. Just to give you a flavour of the leading prices of booking that with us, at the moment we've got some exceptional special offers. So we've just launched our programme for 2022 departures, and for all dates in January and February 2022, you're able to go for 5279 per person, which is reduced from 5999 at the moment. So it really is an exceptional special offer, and that includes a one-way business class fare as well. And don't forget, everything's included, all those lovely excursions, your Wi-Fi, meals, etc. So it really is a wonderful place to, as I say, see such a special part of the world. Now, if you book this between now and the 31st of January with Kat and the team, there is a show exclusive. So we will be adding on a VIP door-to-door service in the UK. So you'll get, within a 55-mile round-trip radius, a complimentary chauffeur transfer to the airport in the UK. To just enhance that and make sure that you get into to start off this wonderful holiday in style. So without further ado, I think I shall pass back to Kat. Kat, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much, Arjun and Angela. That was an incredible presentation. I've learnt a lot and I definitely want to go now. So I'll be saving up for that one. And we've got a couple of questions from our attendees. We've got a couple of questions about solo travelling Are there many solo travellers on board the ships, and are there any deals for solo travellers on board the Ganges sailings?
Arjun, would you like to answer that one?
I think that's for you, Angela, that one.
Okay, so yes, we do have solo travellers and we do have solo offers at selected times a year and on selected dates. So the best thing really is to inquire with Kat at the time of booking, and what we can do is we can have a look. Sometimes we do have nil single supplements, or sometimes heavily reduced. So it can change. The best thing to do is to really just check with Kat and the team at the time of booking or inquiring.
Is it possible just to do the cruise on its own? So just pick out the cruise and then build potentially your own travel around it, rather than doing the pre-stay sort of excursions before? So just have the actual sailing.
Yes, I'm sure we could accommodate that.
Okay, perfect. And Arjun, I don't know if you'd be able to answer this. How long are the internal flights, and do you know what companies that you fly with?
By company, I mean the domestic flight carrier. Yeah. So normally the flight's around 2 hours, and we use an airline called Indigo, which is one of the best Indian airlines. Okay,
perfect. And one of the last questions is about visas. Do you provide visas, or is it do you give information to the customers to purchase their own visas?
Yeah, we will give absolute support in arranging visas. Our team would work with Kat, our own reservations team are based in Guernsey, and we would support you in being able to get those visas. I do believe that we've got all the information there to point you in the right direction and make sure that you get it done swiftly and hassle-free.
Yeah, perfect. I've also got a message from Ron, who's watching, and he said that he had initially started thinking about this sailing, and that does recommend to watch the Jay McDonald programme as well, even though the information we've been given here is absolutely incredible, to put it into a journey as well and watch someone do it. I've seen it as well, the Jay McDonald programme, and I think it is another perfect example of really what you're going to experience. So for anyone interested in that, definitely. She does a very good job of showing the quality and just the overall exceptional experience that you will have on this Uniworld trip. As far as I can see, there's no more questions. So thank you so much for everyone who's joined us. I will be sending out a follow-up email to everyone just to say thank you. There will be a copy of the presentation within there as well. So if there's any information that you want to go back over, any more images that you want to see, then I'll send that out. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to attach our river cruise brochure. It has all our cruise with confidence messages within that. Angela, what I will do is I will get your Uniworld specific cruise with confidence messages to put on that email, which means that everyone will understand completely what we're doing. Obviously you can see what we're doing on board ships, but also we want to show you what we're doing in the actual booking scenarios as well. So thank you so much, Arjun, Angela. It's been a pleasure as always, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you so much, Kat and Panache Cruises. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.